This is my winter update of the aquaponics. It's December 2015, and in the grow beds, we have had tomato plant die, as well as an eggplant plant die. The onions, the other plants like the celery and the cabbage and the cauliflower and broccoli, they seem to be doing quite fine, as does the lettuce, and there are some little duckweeds growing in those cups, and I am trying to work on rerouting this water for the duckweed ponds. That's doing quite fine. The duckweed that was over here, the water wasn't heated, so it died. So I'm looking to route the discharge water from this duckweed pond over into this pool. I still have some seedlings started in these hospital basins. They're doing quite fine. I've got radishes, cauliflower, broccoli, and cabbage, and some of those are planted up here as well. Now, I did have to take the mint out of the aquaponics because it was taken over, and these are some of the plants that I had bought from a big box store on clearance, and they're wintering over. One of the major problems that I've had, in addition to temperature, which the greenhouse tends to run about 15 degrees hotter than outside temperature, are these panels. Anytime there's big wind, I lose panels, and in fact I've got this one propped up with a chair. But these little clips, they don't seem to hold them in place, and I've tried siliconing these panels and what have you. I think as an experiment, I might just try and cover this entire greenhouse with bisqueen and see if I can get a little bit more heat in here for the winter time. An addition I have is down here. I started a worm farm, and I'm actually recycling paper out of my shredder from my home office and throw some kitchen scraps in there, as well as some of the leaves off some of the plants. So we have an apple that got wilted, what was left of a head of ketchup, head of lettuce, coffee filter, some leaves from the plants that have died. But we have, let's see, we've got some worms. They're still living. And these are just worms that I found in the yard. There were some that were left over from fishing, some store-bought worms. So I don't have too many in here right now. I probably have less than a dozen worms, but they're probably hiding somewhere. There's one. But the fish love to eat these. In fact, let me show you what this looks like. I'll feed the fish, and they're doing fine. I need to separate the goldfish from the tilapia. See them eat that worm. The goldfish are really visible. You can't hardly see the tilapia because they're black. I'll throw some fish food in here and get them to come up to the surface. That's what they look like. They're doing quite fine. I think my tilapia are about big enough that I could pull them out and put them in an aquarium and see if I have a breeding couple. And I understand once they start breeding that they'll have about 300 fish at a time. So I'd like to try that maybe sometime this winter, see if I can get an aquarium set up inside my house. But that's it for the update. Hopefully get this other duckweed pond plumbed in. I want to get some wire shelves that go on top of these duckweed ponds. That way I can utilize this space over here in the corners to start my seedlings for next year. I plan to grow some tomatoes aquaponically, but I plan to grow them outside. So I'm wanting to start my seedlings for the tomato plants as well as the bell peppers. And I need to separate my goldfish from my tilapia because the goldfish seem to compete for the food. And so what I'm hoping to do is set up one of these operations using the IBC totes actually set it up over here and have its own tank and its own grow bed. I've got another pump that I can use and hopefully get that set up and utilize the fish but keep them separate. Well, thanks for watching. That's all for now.